That's how. Let's talk
Awesome. Welcome everyone. This is Irredescent, the making of a manga and audio comic. What is it called?
Let's go. Manga audio.
Manga
audio
audio.
manga. My bad. Audio manga.
There you go, one of those things. Hey everyone, welcome to the panel. My name is Loraldo Anzaldua. I'm a voiceover actor. I play the voice of Ryo Kurikiba in Food Wars, Kei Tsukushima in Haikyuu, the voice of Takashi Komuro in High School of the Dead, and a whole bunch more. But specifically for, hey, it's me, look at that, right? But specifically for this project and content, I play the character Shudder Kuratachi.
Hey, I am Brigitte, that's me. And I play Karen Flaro in this manga.
Hey everybody, my name is Pedro Blaze, and I'm the lead artist for the manga. And this one here, my brother, is Simon Blaze, and he is the writer.
Hello, I'm Simon. I'm the writer of Irredescent. Nice meeting you guys.
Awesome. So today we'll be taking you through the journey of how to create, make, and record a manga and audio manga, or manga audio. They didn't really clarify which one that was. So first off, we'll take some questions just to see if you're curious. There's a microphone here if you'd like to get up. And if no questions happen after a while, we can begin to talk about the process. So I would rather have a conversation with you all than talking at you, right? So it's way better to engage. So if you have any questions, please come up to the microphone and ask away, right? Yes, come on up. Right, we can talk about the artistry, the illustration, we can talk about the content, we can talk about recording, whatever you care to talk about. Yes?
Curious about the audio manga, right?
Audio
Like,
manga.
where can we find if it when it gets published? Where can we find it?
When and where it gets published and where can we find it?
Yeah, so the audio manga will be an option. It's a feature that comes inside of the book. So when you get the book, there's gonna be a QR code at the beginning of each chapter that you can scan, and it will take you to a SoundCloud profile, and you can select the chapter that you want to listen to. So the audio version is going to be released soon, but you can get the manga now. You can get it at the Artist Alley. There's a huge booth that has the manga available.
Awesome.
So is there any artists or aspiring voice actors in the house?
Yay, awesome.
Yay!
Great, welcome. Right. What other questions, y'all? It's way better to have, yes? Can you repeat the question, please?
So she
Also,
she
there's-
asked,
What's that?
oh, she asked like, how do you go from being an artist to making an actual manga?
Excellent.
Yeah, so I started when I was very young. I was 9 years old. I started drawing stick figures actually, and these are some samples of the drawings that I made back in. I was in middle school, I believe. And I started making drawings like this, and very simple, quick, fun things that I wanted to make. I was literally making it just for fun, and I was actually inspired by my brother because he started doing it before me, and then I just kept doing it, and I was getting better at it. The more I kept doing it, the drawings kept getting better. But my brother came up with even better stories, and at one point, he decided to collaborate with me to create a manga. So that's at the point where we decided to write a story. Like actually, we wrote a script and we storyboarded it, and then we actually sat down and started doing the actual manga. But the first draft was actually very rough, and it was very simple, and we had to make a lot of changes. And then the latest draft is so much more improved, and there's a lot of character development, and the story goes even deeper than just a simple tournament arc.
And how long ago would you say you started doing this project?
This project started, it was conceptualized in early 2000s,
Yeah, when we contacted you, it was around 2013, 2014 when we reached out to you, and that was like the first, not the first, but the first take on this version of the script, if that makes sense.
Got it.
And then we keep evolving it till release.
Got it. So over 10 years
Yeah.
making this project. Awesome. Great question so far. What else? Yes, come on up. There's a microphone.
Do you see yourself in the characters, or is this something that you guys just wanted to create over?
That's a really good question. I actually feel like I put a little bit of myself in my characters. Of course, I don't relate to all of them, but I can relate to certain aspects of each character. So yes, I would say. My brother comes up with some of the characters too. Like he tells me like I want this character to be like this and like that. So that gives me an idea of what the character looks like. I have a description of the character first, and then I do several concepts, and then the one that goes with my brother's vision is the one that we approve.
And as a writer, all of the characters have a little bit of me in them, and as the same with Pedro. When you create something, you put a little bit of this in.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your question.
Yes, come on up.
How difficult are backgrounds?
Oh, it's not on. Stand by, everybody. Technical.
How?
Is it still walking?
Oh, there you go.
Okay. How difficult are the backgrounds?
Oh, it's
Takes a while.
yeah, that's one of the most difficult parts. After I make the characters, of course we don't want to leave it blank. With like for example on this page, we don't want to leave it blank. Sometimes you can just add some effects and speed lines to fill in the space. But if it's like an establishing shot or something like that, you do need, yeah, like that. It will take a little bit of time. So.
Sometimes
Come
you gotta
on.
be smart with the shots, the type of background people shots.
Yeah, something important to keep in mind is you don't want the background to blend with the character. So if you notice in some manga, they stop the line before it reaches the character. So you can do like a simplified version of the background too, so it doesn't blend.
I also heard that sometimes you can just put the background, establish the background with one panel, so that you don't have to draw it over and over.
Oh, yeah. And you reuse the assets?
Well, not so much that, but like get the character, Guido already having an idea of the geography.
Yeah, that's valid.
So you will, I do have an idea of the geography, or I do think about it when I'm designing the background, and that's something that I have to keep in mind when I'm establishing the characters in a scene. I have to keep in mind if I have a river on the right, and I see the character from a specific angle, that maybe that river is gonna be on the front this time, or where is that river gonna go in the background, so.
So you have to do like a mental map.
Yeah, I have to do a mental background in my head.
Okay.
Thank you for the question.
What else, y'all? Yes, come on up. Great, you can feel free to yell then.
So on the screen, you showed both digital and analog. Y'all mostly work digitally these days, or do you
Now,
pencil and paper first and then scan it, or what's your workflow?
I started traditional and scanning and cleaning up, and then at some point I actually bought a drawing tablet, and that's when I transitioned to digital. And it does save me a lot of time, and I can make corrections super easy. So it's so much better, in my opinion. But I did start traditional, and I recommend that everybody starts traditional rather than digital, and then transition to digital. But yeah, ever since I transitioned, I've been doing digital since then, and I love it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What's the time difference? Like if you draw something traditional to digital?
I have never measured it, but
It's the cleanup part.
yeah, because when you make the drawing, you do a sketch, and then you do the final draft, and then you ink it. So that's 3 layers. In the digital, you can do the same thing, but
And you turn off the layers while
you can turn off the layers instead of having to erase.
And
Yeah.
even when you do traditional and put it on the computer, you can you have to delete all the extra lines or, make sure the image is crisp, while in digital, you turn the layers off and it's there. So it saves you a lot of time, hours, I would say.
That's true. Yeah, when you do traditional and you scan it in the computer, you're gonna have some. It's gonna be rough. You're gonna have to clean it up. So cleaning that up takes some time. And with the digital, you just turn off the layer, the rough draft layers, and you have the clean ink layer by itself. So that's awesome about digital.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, come on up.
I'm just curious, like, what made you decide to make this about what you made it as, and not like something else? What made you decide to make it what you made it?
Yeah, it's we were inspired by Dragon Ball, so we wanted to make a tournament arc for sure, and that's how we started. And initially, it looked just like Dragon Ball. That's why the first drop that we made, it was too simple. It was just about the tournament. And after we researched more, watched more, and got inspired by different things, we made a revision of the story, and we decided to take it in a deeper direction. So it's still about the tournament, but it's not the main part of the story. The main character, of course, he wants to be a champion, just like his father was. But it's no longer just the entire story. Like, it doesn't revolve around the tournament.
Wow.
It's more about the world and the character. So we learned to develop the characters. Because I was just telling someone that your story is just as good as your characters. You have to make your characters likable and enjoyable. That way, it's more about the characters, and the characters carry the story pretty much. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
There was a question over here. Do you have something? Yes. Did you have your hand up?
Yeah, you guys recently made this. Any idea how long you'll be doing it, or how many arcs will be?
How many arcs?
How many arcs?
How many arcs? I would say 10 arcs. I have in my mind, but we might shorter them or combine them to make them more smooth. But right now, I have bullet points in my computer, but I have mental bullet points too. I've been telling Pedro, hey, I come up with a really cool idea for this part, and that's way down the line. So once we get there, we'll know. But right now, I have a really good idea for at least 10 arcs.
Awesome. How many volumes are out already and available?
Out and available, we have one volume. The second one will be available in December. It was crowdfunded. That's another thing about getting started. I think she asked the question like about getting started. We did crowdfunding, and it was a successful Kickstarter for Volume 1, and we also did a successful Kickstarter for Volume 2. And so it's fully funded now, and Volume 2 will be released in December. And then Volume 3 is already storyboarded, and the idea is all down. We might make a new revision, but the idea is already on paper. And so we have 3 volumes for the first arc. But the only one that's released is the first one.
And how many pages is volume 1?
Volume 1 is 208 pages of art, so that's why it takes a while. Especially if you're not doing it full time, it takes a long time to make 208 pages of art.
Do you intend all the issues or all the volumes to be that big? That many?
Yes.
Actually, they're very big.
A typical manga has about 200 pages. A typical manga volume has around 200 pages, so it is something that's the norm.
Great.
When it comes to manga.
Awesome. Yes.
Question. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
So, like you said, 100 pages, right? That's a lot. As a hobbyist myself, one of the things that I find myself struggling a lot with is the detail crap. You get stuck in, just zooming in too much and doing too much detail. You have to keep going if you want to finish something that is 100 pages long. There's a fighting piece right there, the dynamic books and all that. How do you keep yourself falling in detail where, Microsoft and Tune crap and keep going to get those 100 pages done?
That's what I'm here for.
He pushes me. He has a whoop and he's like, no, just kidding. So I actually I read other manga and I actually pay attention to how they draw the different panels. Like there's a manga called Chainsaw Man, I'm pretty sure you guys know it. And there's a panel that is a shower head. And every time I feel like I'm going into too much detail, and being too much of a perfectionist, I think about that shower head because this guy did 2 sticks, 1 triangle, and a bunch of lines to indicate water. And I was like, I am trying too hard. This guy is just doing a couple of lines and that calls it a panel. And he's ready to go. And I'm like, I'm trying too hard. So sometimes I'm like, I don't need to be a perfectionist. I just need to give the idea, make it look nice and clean, and move on to the next one. Sometimes I draw a panel and I don't like it and I want to redraw it, but I'm like, okay, let me move on to the next one, finish this page, and at the end, I'll go back to that panel and see if I have time to do it again. And by the end of the page, I'm like, you know what, this panel actually works, so I don't need to modify it. So I just move on to the next one. It's kind of like taking a test. When I was in school, I remember if I was stuck in a question, I was like, okay, let me move on to the next question, and I'll come back to that one. Something like that.
Sometimes we get the opposite effect, like it makes you redo panels.
Oh, yeah, sometimes, well, this is a different point. Sometimes I'm satisfied with a panel, and he will be like, hey, I think you can do that better. And I'm like, okay, well, let me do another take. And it comes out a lot better. And it's happened a few times.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Awesome.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry. Is it working?
Yeah.
Okay. So you were mentioning how of course, the 200 pages of artwork, it takes a long time, especially like if it's not full-time. So this is not your full-time occupation. Do you do something else? Is this a side hustle or what exactly? Can you clarify?
Yeah, I was just talking to my friends about it. But I used to have a full-time job and do fan art on the side for conventions and do the manga on the side. So that's why the first volume took so long. Going to conventions has been a successful venture for us. So we go to conventions a lot. It's been able to cover some of our expenses and everything, to the point that I was able to quit my full-time job, and now I just do conventions for my main source of income. And that gives me the time to work on the manga too.
A little more, because we travel a lot too.
Yeah, and that's another thing. So it's just kind of like levels. So you start doing what you can with what you have. If you really have the drive and the passion to do it, you'll find the time to make it work. And the next level is like, okay, I'm able to sustain myself with just art. I don't have to go work at a McDonald's anymore. And the next level is pretty much hiring a team that can go do your conventions and sell your art for you, so you can stay home and draw. And that's the next step for me. So that's what I want to get to at some point. So I can just be a full-time drawer in my house, not forgetting to work out because I don't want to get, I don't want to get unhealthy, you know. But I gotta take care of myself. But I do want to stay home and just draw, and just attend some of the conventions that are the bigger ones, so I can answer questions like this one.
Sorry, I just had a follow-up to that.
Yeah.
And, so what is like your day-to-day kind of routine, like with art, staying healthy and going to conventions, traveling?
That's a good question. I have never put it into a sentence. So my day-to-day is pretty much my Monday. My Monday is my day off, because it's the day right after a convention. So I literally just stay home and watch anime to do research. Sometimes I read manga. It's research. It's research.
That is not a day off.
Well, it's a day off for me because if I don't like watching TV, as weird as that sounds, but I don't like watching TV if I'm not gonna learn anything from it. So even when I'm reading manga, I study the lines, I study the dialogue, the angles, the perspective. I'm not just like reading because. Same with TV, I'm not just watching, I'm like paying attention to the pacing, the music, the delivery of the lines and things like that.
Yeah.
The acting, yeah. So Monday, my day off to research and catch up on anime, because that's something I fall behind on anime. So then Tuesday is my first day of work.
You call me to see what we need to do.
Well, it's because I'm trying to put it together because it varies every day. But I do just stay home and draw. But at some point, I meet with him so we can do the inventory for the convention. But that's more like Wednesday to Thursday. And then once we get that ready, then we're ready for the next convention. So Friday to Saturday is convention time. And then Monday, start over again.
Sometimes we just cancel for bench.
Yeah, because some conventions are longer and some conventions require for us to travel longer distances, so we have to take some more time off. So it just varies. That's why it's not something consistent. I cannot say like, oh, I wake up at 9 and do this, I do that at 12, you know. It just varies every day. Thank you.
For the voice actors, do you think, in your opinion, it's like a talent to be a voice actor, or is there something that you did to practice it?
Right, so is it a talent or is it something you practice? So, you want to go? Yeah, something? Great, love it.
I think it's a little bit of both. I studied theater since I was like in junior high. That is what I did. And it seems to be like the inevitable path. Usually voiceover actors are drawn from theater community, especially in Houston. It's kind of like, you know, somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody if you're really involved in the theater community. So one of the best ways to get involved is to start with just acting, just getting the basics down of acting. So there is some skill to it, but honestly, acting and voice work is about dedication. Like if you keep, just like these guys, like if you keep working at it and dedicating yourself to it, somebody's gonna notice and be like, hey, I think you'd be really great at this. So it's kind of one of those processes. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I'll follow up with that as well. And just like what Brittany was saying, anyone has a voice to do this, right? There's a bunch of different projects out in the world, and there's a bunch of different voices, and they all fit somewhere, right? It's just a matter of putting yourself out there, making yourself available, finding different communities, right? Whether they're online or actual physical people that you talk to all the time, to practice, to record, to write scripts together, like begin to build content that you can begin to record as well, right? And the more you do that, the more you practice. The more you practice, the more you'll be able to transfer those skills into or in with a studio that you can begin to record.
Are there any exercises that you do before you do the voices?
So on my drive to the studio, I always do different tongue twisters. Right? But even things like if I don't know any tongue twisters or I don't want to do them, even singing along in the car, right, on the drive or beforehand, like in the shower, right, just saying things out loud begins to build the muscles in your throat to be able to control them for a lot longer so you can talk or speak clearer when you're in the mood. So it kind of builds a muscle just like going to the gym. So the more you do that, the more you'll be able to control what you're saying and how to say it for longer.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
It's cool. I want to start doing that.
Do it. Right? Then you can start recording your own stuff, and then you won't need us, and then I'm out of a job.
There you go. No, actually, we were doing a panel with Matt. I don't know if you know Matt. Matthew David Roth. And he told me that I should start doing voice acting because it's way easier than everything that I'm doing already. He's like, you should just do voice acting. It's way easier.
It's true.
It's a fun gig. It's a really fun gig.
I like directing.
Yeah, directing is fun too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Any more questions?
Yes. Oh.
This is just in general for all of you guys. Like, I know that some people go through art block or voice block. They're just like frustrated with, you don't like this part. Like, I just want to know, how do you handle, like, do you just walk away? Do you just leave the project alone for a month? Or how do you handle all of that?
Yeah. My answer to that is yes.
Yes. I play video games, that's what I do. I play video games to, get away from what I'm doing, and then that gives me more new ideas to put into stories or what I need to do, or even art pieces. So that's what I do, play video games.
Okay.
No, when I have art block, it is frustrating and it happens a lot. And I even get to points that I start to doubt myself. But I take a break and then I come back and draw. Like sometimes I take a break and play music. I like to play music too. And at some point I get tired, like my fingers start hurting from playing guitar or something like that. I'm like, I want to go back to drawing. So it's like, it just makes me miss it. Like when I step away from it a little bit and I'm like, okay, I miss drawing. I want to go back into it, and I go back into it with a fresh mind, and it comes out better. But it does happen. It is frustrating, and it does make me doubt myself. But it does get better. Like once you get over it, you come back stronger. Yeah.
I think inspiration is just as important as the work. Like finding that spark that's like, oh, this is why I'm doing what I love, instead of just hyper focusing on the work is important.
Right, and also when you're in the studio on the clock, right? So, you know, if you're self-employed or you're creating your own product or asset or, you know, different aspects of whatever it is you can walk away and play the guitar, right? But if I'm at the studio working with a director or a producer and I begin to get a block of some kind, you know, most of the time it'll be like, I need a second, I need a break. And oftentimes a good director will be able to tell before it actually begins to happen, right? Performers usually like begin to stumble words, begin to jumble things, begin to, you know, like you can see them get tired a little bit easier. So when that begins to happen, they almost instantly begin to give us breaks, or, you know, maybe you need to go to the bathroom or eat something or get a drink of water. In bigger instances when block happens or when too many roadblocks are happening during the production shoot, then, you know, we'll take a big break. It's like, maybe it's time to go to lunch early or whatever. So everyone, at least if they're a good company or director or producer to work with, they'll notice the kind of human element or aspect of the project and everyone involved, and we'll take care of one another, right? Actors will always be able to say, hey, I need a break, and the director will always give it to them, because at the end of the day, they want you to be the best that you can do or be for the project, because the project still needs to get done. So rather than work you too much and then get a not as quality of a product, eventually they'll let everyone get what they need to be able to work together.
So the answer is breaks?
The answer is breaks a lot.
Yeah.
Just take a break, regardless.
Do some push-ups.
Push-ups. Right? Run around the building. What else, y'all? What other questions? Yes?
I know you mentioned before how it took about 200 pages, 200 pages to create a manga. Do you know about typically, on average, how long it takes to produce a whole volume?
The whole volume? For me, if I divide it by pages and I do, let's say, 3 pages a day, it should take me about 100 to 150 days. So that's what, 4 months, 6 months, something like that.
But the first volume
evolved
over 10 years.
Yeah, but that's because we did so many revisions. The story had to be rewritten, like the script had to be revised, and I even had to redo some pages, and it just goes back to your skill too. Because if you're a lot slower finishing 1 page, then it might take you a whole day to do 1 page. But if you get better, you can do like 2 or 3 pages per day. Yeah, that's what I want to get to that point where I'm able to do multiple pages a day. The reason it also took 10 years is because I was working a full-time job and I was doing the conventions, and I was pretty much doing the manga as a hobby. When I switched the focus on that and eventually make the manga my priority, that's when I'll be able to do like a volume every 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
Like a real mangaka.
Awesome. Very cool. Yes?
How do you decide on the voice actors for your characters?
How did we decide? Well, about that, no, the first time we got a voice actor was Irredescent, and that was through a friend, have a common friend. They do like film in Houston community. So he introduced us to Irredescent, and we told him about our project and what we wanted to do, and he's like, yeah, I'm down. And then through Irredescent, we met Brittany and some other voice actors, and that's how we got the core cast. However, throughout the years, with another voice actress, she did like a post in a voice actors forum. So we did an actual casting call, and that's how people audition, and they send their submissions, and then we get to select from a bunch of people who they cast for characters.
And in fact, whenever we did the casting call, we sent them pictures of the character and we described what we want the character to sound like. So for example, Shotter's father, we specifically said we wanted to sound like Joel from Last of Us with a little bit of a southern accent. So all of the submissions were trying to match that description. And we just decided that the one that sounded the closest to Joel was the one that we liked the best, and that's how we decided it.
The acting skills.
Of course, the acting too, like the performance. So if it's the delivery of the line, how good is he at acting the line and expressing his emotion?
But with that question, right, all right, but with that question, it's super important to also realize and notice that it started small. Right? It started from the community that you had, right? You found a friend that happened to be in film, that happened to refer, right? And that comes from anywhere. So if you're at school, if you're at work, just ask around. If you're online and active in different communities, ask around, and someone will know someone who wants to be involved with your project, regardless of where in the process you are. Whether you're just starting out and you've never drawn anything before or recorded anything, or whether you're a professional in the field. Are very bad, I'm sorry, right? Or whether you're a professional in the field and you've been doing it for years and years, right? Start with your community, and then eventually it'll grow into something that you can do a national search, an international search, an internet search that is all over the world, right? But it's important to figure out your goals, set your goals, and then put information out there of your expectation. This is what I'm looking for, this is what I want, and then also what the requirements are. This is how long we intend for it to take, this is how many lines it does, and all this information will help people decide or connect with whatever it is you want. But start small, start local, right? It's a great question.
Networking, yeah. A lot of networking goes into this.
Excellent. You had a question?
Oh, yeah. Would you and your brother ever consider doing a biography using anime?
A biography?
Like based on your life? Would you ever do one? Anime?
Like a video biography?
Documentary, like
A documentary, but using.
No,
We haven't, it has never crossed our mind. But I mean, if
it has, but we haven't really acted. I don't know.
Are you gonna produce it?
We need somebody to be recording us all day. We already have one. We already got started on it.
Yeah,
He's hired.
We eventually, he does videography for us.
I'm Mackenzie, by the way. Hey.
So he does our social. Yeah, he's great. We love him. So I mean, if someone pitches the idea for us to have a biography made of us, I'll be open to the idea. Yeah.
Thank you.
And then Oscar Isaac and Pedro Pascal can play.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Call it What the Blaze Is.
What the Blaze Is.
What the Blaze Is. And it totally fits that. You heard it here first, folks.
Thank you, Tom. Sure.
That's fun.
What else, y'all? What other questions? We still have a little bit of time left.
Oh, we do want to mention that we're gonna have a panel at 7 also, and it's gonna be even a more in-depth panel about Irredescent. We're actually gonna show clips of the characters in action. We're gonna bring cosplayers cosplaying as our characters. They're gonna be here. They can answer questions about cosplaying too, and they are gonna be there too at 7 o'clock.
A lot of stuff to show. We're gonna go really in depth. But right now, I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek of what we're gonna show during the panel, if you guys don't mind.
Whoa! Hold your taco, Sensei. How am I supposed to know which object is the right one? You just want me to guess?
I was waiting for you to ask that.
Huh? What's this?
Go ahead, read it out loud.
I have two faces, yet I am joined as one. I stand still, and I can still run faster than some. What am I? What the hell is this?
That's your clue. When you solve this riddle, you'll know which object to choose, and the test will be over.
This is my test? Solving a stupid riddle? I don't know if you remember, but I'm going to a fighting tournament. Shouldn't you be testing my fighting skills? Man, you are getting old. How is solving a riddle going to help me in battle, huh?
Every opponent is a riddle itself. They might look like a difficult or even impossible puzzle, but if you keep calm and think, you'll see through their weaknesses. Once you know what they are, it'll be just a matter of making the right move. You've already seen the answer. All you need to do is choose wisely. The key to solving this problem is right in your hands. So, let's not waste any more time. Begin!
I'm so bored. How long was that test supposed to be anyway? That's right. I haven't eaten anything since lunch. I guess it's time for a little snack. Let's see. What do we have in here? A text message. What? This doesn't even make sense.
Damn, that was close. I better finish this mission undetected.
Who are you? It seems that I have a stalker. So creepy. What am I gonna do with you? Huh?
Nice. Hey. Yeah, so that was the guy with the spiky hair. That was Leonardo at the first scene, and the second scene that was Brittany. So you will be showing more clips. Yeah, thank you. We'll be showing more clips for of the manga in the panel at 7 o'clock, and we're also going to be talking about the music because all the music was made by us too. So we'll be showing like the process of the music and
show you some samples.
Yeah, some samples of the music and everything. So, all right, I see a question.
Is the audio released within like the motion video as well, or is it?
It's gonna be both actually. So you're gonna have the audio that you can listen to in SoundCloud while you read the manga, but we're also gonna have animatics that are gonna be released later after the audio is released.
Any more questions?
Yes.
Do you know how you come up with the, let's say the themes for each arc?
Theme for each arc. How to come up with a theme for each arc?
So that's a writing question.
Okay.
My first, for example, my first arc, I need to introduce the characters, right? And introduce the world as well. So my first arc is more like a 1 versus 1, like team 1 versus team 2, because you get to understand both sides of the conflict we're introducing arc 1. But my second arc, I want to explore the world more, so it's more like the tournament arc, if you will. It's like a tryout, we call it. While arc number 3, I know it's gonna be horror team, because something's happening in the story, so I wanna so I apply a little theme to each arc and write around it, and the next arc is gonna be more like mystery, you know. But there's an overall mystery throughout the story, but I try to put a theme to each arc so I can focus my writing on that aspect of the story.
Any other questions, folks? Yes.
Who's your favorite character? It can't be your own character.
It can't
for
be
you
your
two,
own.
But who's your favorite character out of everything?
Who's your favorite character?
Oh,
Who's
oh.
your favorite?
All of y'all, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
My
yeah.
favorite character of all of the story?
Mhm.
Oh, well, my favorite character of this story is the guy with the mask.
The guy with the mask.
Why
But
specifically?
not here we go. So I mean, I'm not saying his name because they don't know it. My favorite character is Renu, because of course, there's a reason why he's wearing that mask, and his story is pretty tragic. He's being let down by a lot of people, and he's gone through a lot of hurt. So I just empathize with him, kind of in a personal level, actually. So that's why I like him a lot. And then he's so loyal, and even though he's been through a lot, he still has a good heart. So that's why I like him. You?
For me, don't ask me that question. I like them all. I think his brother is really fun to write. And Maru is really fun to write. He's like a badass. He's like I would say, an evil Goku type character. He likes to eat a lot. He likes to fight a lot. He just does stuff for fun. And he's kind of like a rock star. But I do like Karen as well. She's very smart, very nice, and she's very pretty. But she doesn't you know that she's smart. She just plays dumb just to fool you, right? So there's more to Karen than you think. So I like Karen as well.
I would agree. I might be biased, but Karen's my favorite because she's cute, she's fun, she's flirty, but then if you piss her off, she's gonna kick your ass. So that's my favorite.
Mine is Shiro Sensei.
Oh, you like Shiro?
Yeah, I love it.
Mostly because he reminds me of Uncle Iroh from Avatar. But he's so chill, he's so cool, and he always makes it challenging for Shotter without making it too difficult. Challenging enough, but also gives Shotter a perspective that how important everything is, including his sense of self-worth. Right? He has a really great kind of fatherly but instructor sensei vibe about him that Shotter like finds really quickly but gets really deeply. So I really enjoyed that character arc together.
Yes, I'm glad you saw that clip of them interacting together.
Yeah.
And you have never seen that, right?
No, not together like that. No.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
The opposite. So a character that like a character that we don't like. So my least favorite character. Yeah, my least favorite character.
Guy?
No, but from your least favorite character?
I think he's fun, but he's meant to be annoying, right?
Oh, so we have a character coming up on the second volume, and we call him Boom Guy. He doesn't even have a name. He has these bazookas, and he's obnoxious and loud, and he thinks too highly of himself. So he doesn't like him.
Like a frat.
It's like a frat dude. Okay. So I like him. He's fun.
He's funny, but
he's like trying to uplift everybody in a
Comedic relief.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
comedic relief.
he's trying to beg sharks, even though nobody listens to him, you know what I mean?
But they're about to go in a secret mission, and everybody's tense. So he's like trying to lighten up the mood by telling, "Hey, we're gonna beat them. We're gonna do this. Come on, we got this." Yeah, you know. So he's fun. I like him. My least favorite character.
Ooh. I don't know, like, from the stuff they do,
Or what would it be better to say, like, which one's the hardest to draw?
Which
Karen.
one's the hardest?
Oh, is it?
yeah.
Because he's picky with the face.
Ah.
And like I finish a face and I'm like, yeah, it looks pretty good. And he's like, do it again. I'm like, oh, this is Boom Guy right here. That's him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's him. He comes out in volume 2. He has a very fun arc.
I can see the frat guy in him.
Yeah, you see him, like, the one with the glasses. Yeah. Oh, he actually makes an appearance in chapter 4 of volume 1.
Yeah, he's in volume 1 a little bit,
he's
yeah.
in volume 1 too. Yeah. So yeah, I guess the hardest to draw would be Karen because of the face. But least favorite, I don't know.
No, I think I like them all.
I guess I think I know which one. Ichi.
You don't like Ichi?
I didn't say I didn't like him. I said he's my least favorite.
It's just kind of big.
Who would get picked last?
We'll pick last. Oh yeah, it would probably be Ichi then.
No way.
No,
No
for me
way.
it would be Ichi. It would be Ichi. Yeah, I know.
We're gonna start a fight.
It's gonna be like you don't wanna be, you don't want Boogman to be in your steam, bro. He's gonna.
Oh, so the guy in the middle right here. This guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So.
The middle guy.
Question in the back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You mentioned earlier that you'll do research, watch other anime on your day off, I guess.
Yeah.
What are you looking for when you're watching other anime or manga? What ideas are you trying to pull off of that or inspirations? And two, which ones have inspired you the most?
Nice. That's a good question. So what I'm looking for, I mentioned it briefly, is like pacing, the music, the delivery of the lines. Just I guess it's from a director's point of view. You want to break everything down and see like in depth, like why did they put this type of music here? Why did they use this angle for this character, for this scene? Because an angle can say a lot. Like if it's coming from above or if it's close up, it may make you feel like you're trapped, or it make you feel like, oh, you're at peace. And it's a lot of emotion, and it can be told just by a single angle. Like if you tilt your camera a little bit, that creates a sense of unbalance and things like that, you know? So I'm looking for things like that. And one that has been inspiring for me, well, when I was starting, it was Naruto. That was inspired me a lot, especially when it came to not giving up when I felt like my artist blocks, just keep pushing forward. That was, on a personal level, that was an inspiration for me. But on an artistic level, I think Bleach. Bleach. Death Note, it was good as far as the like the storytelling. Like I felt like there's so much storytelling that you can tell with just the drawing itself. So Death Note helped in that sense too. Yeah.
So I know who my least favorite character is.
Oh,
This guy, the Diamond King.
yeah, he's the father of the anti-hero in the story.
Part of this one, he's such a douchebag. So sorry. Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's
probably
like he's the reason why my favorite character is the guy with the mask. Because
Yeah,
he
yeah.
is so bad.
Yeah. Parenting.
I got another quick one.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself drawing a character, whether it's a villain or not a villain, that is based off of somebody you hate in real life?
I don't know if it will be too obvious.
Well, maybe.
I would say next question.
In your opinion, which character has the best character development?
In my opinion, the guy that has the best character development is the main character. Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
Emaru too.
Emaru.
Depends on where we take him. Yeah, Emaru.
The main antagonist. Yeah. He goes through a lot, but
I think they're both on the same level.
they're about the same level. But yeah, the main character Shredder, he goes through a traumatic, life-changing experience that he feels like it was all his fault.
And then he has to
And then
rebuild himself.
it happens again. So it's just like too traumatic, so he has to grow past that. So he has
The sensei help, but he has to rebuild himself.
yeah, the sensei helps, but well, it gets good.
Awesome. This will be the final question, the last one we have time for.
We'll come back at 7 and we have more time.
Yes.
This is in regards to the writing process. So when you started creating the world that your characters live in, did you decide that all of the minute details needed to be figured out right away, or do you just kind of give an overall general guideline for your world and then let the cards fall?
The second one, yeah.
Yeah,
for
sure.
Because there's two types of writers, the architect and not the farmer, but the kind of like a farmer. Like you plant the seed and you let the seed grow and see where it goes. I'm kind of like a bit of that. Like I put all seeds with like story threads and then I develop them over time, and that's what's shaping the story.
Yeah, and I like that style because even I can pitch in sometimes. He writes something and I'm like, I kind of see where this is going, but what if we put something here, and then he's like, oh, let me put that here. So yeah, so he adds to it. Yeah. So yeah. Good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome, y'all. This is the time we have. Thank you all for coming out, participating in our panel. Please, once again, at 7 p.m. come find us. Right, a more in-depth look of Irredescent Manga, the making of a manga and audio manga.
Yeah, we have an exclusive poster, an exclusive San Japan poster that we're gonna give to all of you who come at 7 o'clock. So come by at 7 and stay for the panel, and you get a free poster.
Bring your friends and your family.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Let's fill up this room.
And great questions.
Great questions. Thank you so much.